Hi, she's Phyllis.
And he's Mario.
Today's show is, the star of today's show is Braciole. Braciole, you notice how I rolled my R's? I didn't learn that until I was quite old. Braciole is a flat piece of meat, thin, quarter-inch, half-inch, maybe even a little thicker, that's filled and rolled, tied, browned, and cooked in sauce. Italians love it. And the filling is generally relatively simple. It's not, we're not talking a turkey stuffing here. This is just a few ingredients that enhance the flavor of the meat. And it takes a particular cut of meat to make braciole its best. This is a piece of flap steak, and I bought this from Hadwin Park Market in Lunenburg Center, his meat market. Con is the proprietor, and he and I talked about what's the best cut of meat to use for braciole. And we decided on this for a very good reason. It's the only meat he had that was appropriate for braciole. So there are other kinds of meat that you can use, cuts of meat, I should say. Phyllis knows what they are.
Right, what I ended up doing, because I'm not a butcher, I went on Wikipedia and I learned all about where this cut of meat comes from. It's kind of under the belly and sort of in the sirloin area, but it's the meat that they use for this kind of a dish that we're
sort of over
preparing
here?
today. Right.
If I were a cow?
Yeah, if you were a cow. Some people call it flank steak, flat iron steak, tri-tip, and hanger steak. So
those are the different cuts of steak that you could
Right.
use for braciole. And this is the flap steak. And I don't know if the camera can pick it up. Do you want me to get I can get closer and we could look. No. It's got a grain through it. The thing that makes butchers great is they can take a big muscle in the animal and they know just how to cut it so that the long fibers of muscle tissue, like this, can be cut against the grain, and that gives you a tender chew on the meat. These pieces, because they're flat, I mean, this is the muscle, this is how it comes off the cow, they can't do that. So my guess is the peasant farmers in Italy and other agricultural countries would sell the good pieces of meat or barter them for other things like wheat, wine, whatever they needed, and would keep these cuts because they just weren't valuable. And they had to figure out what to do with them. And the Italians figured out braciole, and I'm so happy that they did because it's awesome. We're going to, before I forget, I do want to talk about Hadwin Park Meat Market. Guys were great. I went in, I told them what I wanted, asked, Khan was there, he's the proprietor, asked him if he could help me by butterflying the pieces of meat. I bought a whole bunch. And get it all the right thickness and cut the right way. It's important because the grain has to be going in a certain direction. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a stringy, chewy piece of braciole, and we don't want that. So he also Khan has a couple of other butchers. Really, go in and see them. These are the kinds of merchants that make Lunenburg a special place. So it's a good reason to stay here in Lunenburg because Nicholas, one of the butchers, I mean, he was the one who actually introduced me to this cut for braciole some time ago. And they got a new butcher, Jake, and a young man, a musician, a nice young guy. Invited me behind the counter. He showed me how he was cutting it. He had me help guide him through it, how I wanted it, what shape of meat, the right rectangular shape, as best as he could get it. Couldn't get them all this way. There's one in the back of the fridge. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. It looks like some old torn rag. But that's all right. We're going to do it. But Khan did the the best he could, and he trimmed off all the visible fat on the outside of the meat for me. And all of this comes for not much different than what a supermarket charges, and they leave all the fat on and charge you for it. Con
You
didn't.
can't get the service at a supermarket that you can at a local butcher, so if you can hook yourself up with one.
No, we have to
Alright,
start
there
with
we
a kiss. And my wine, please.
So
I
you
love
start
Phyllis. We've been married 47 years. I love her. Extra virgin olive oil. Italian food, or the Italian cooking that I do, is pretty simple. Not a lot of ingredients. It's not like Asian food where it's or Latin food or Middle Eastern food that's filled with flavor. These are, so you got to make the most with what you use. Just a few ingredients, so you want good stuff. Extra virgin olive oil. I don't have the bottle because it's got the manufacturer's label on it, and I'm not giving them a plug till they send me a check. There are several brands that I like. You got to pick one that you like and that suits you. So we're going to sprinkle or drizzle just a little bit on here. Here, you can
All
do
right,
that
we'll
for
do
me,
that for you.
my precious. This is, I pre-mixed some salt and coarsely ground black pepper. It's sea salt. Mixed it together in a bowl just to save a step. And we just sprinkle a little on. How much? Up to you. Personal taste.
Did
This-
I rearrange all
this
the
is-
spices?
You did. This is the weapon of mass destruction here. This is garlic. We're going to put garlic on. And as far as I'm concerned, this is like one of the best ingredients. That's
Never
not
can have
nearly
too much
enough.
garlic. Never.
I chopped it earlier. You can figure out how to chop garlic. There's no trick to it. And I keep it in olive oil just to help keep it fresh while it's sat out on the counter. While we solved all our technical issues with the equipment. Grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. Parmigiano Reggiano, that's the imported stuff. That's the expensive stuff. $12, $13, $14 a pound. But you don't use a lot because it's got a lot of flavor. So just gonna, I'm putting it all on.
There you go.
Ta-da. Pine nuts. Italians call them pignoli. If Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, the poet, great American poet, wrote his poem about the village blacksmith. You've all heard it. Maybe you haven't. Under the spreading chestnut tree, the village smithy stands, etc. If Henry's name was Enrico Wadsworth Goodfella, it would have gone something like this. Under the tall pignoli pine, the family's Nona stands. Nona, mighty cook is she, with firm yet gentle hands, and the muscles on her ancient arms are strong as pots and pans. I won't bore you with any more.
There's a poem
I
hiding in
like
there.
poetry.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Can't help yourself.
I get goofy
Oh, my
sometimes.
goodness.
So, Enrico would have written it that way. Sprinkle the pine nuts, the pignoli, pine nuts, which is what got me on that thing. This is optional. This is raisins. I chopped them up because they were big. This came from one of those big box stores, and it's a bag about this big, and the raisins were about as big as my fist. So I chopped them up so they're smaller. And Phyllis has a comment, no doubt, about this because she scolded me.
I do. I like the golden raisins. I prefer them when I put them in the Braciole. But when you don't have golden raisins, it's okay. You want to use what you have. You don't have to go run into the supermarket. It'll still come out delicious.
Chopped fresh flat leaf parsley. I wanted to show you a jar on the counter, but is going to drive the camera people crazy if I run over there, so I'm not
I'll
going to
do
do
that
it.
for
But
you. How's that?
there's,
Can I do that?
I just chopped it up. You could do it with a scissors. You could do it with a chef's knife. Be careful when you're using a sharp chef's knife. All the cuts that I see come from people who try to exceed their skill level when they're using a knife. If you don't have good knife skills or you're not practiced, don't try to go as fast as Giada might on TV.
And your
So-
knives need to be sharp. It's actually worse for you to have a dull knife and more of a chance of having an accident or getting a cut than when you have a sharp knife. But you just need to be careful.
I'm sorry, I can't let that go by.
Oh,
I want to see you show them your favorite knife.
no.
Come on.
Can we do that? All right.
Yeah,
I'll show
that's
it
all
to you.
right.
Hang
Here,
on one
I'm going to
second.
be rolling this anyway while
Okay.
you do
I'll
that.
be right back.
Okay. I washed my hands before we started. I promise you they're clean. The only thing that's on them is the food that's here. And again, an important thing. I can't really tell if the camera can pick up how the grain is going, but they're long, thin fibers that go from side to side like this. It's important not to roll it this way, because if you do and you slice it, you're just going to get a mouthful of chewy, long fiber. So hopefully that'll show up on the camera. If not, you'll just have to take my word for it. I'm Mario. I know Braciole. All right, that's rolled.
Understand?
Sutures, please.
How many would you put on that piece of meat? String.
Uh,
Two,
Three.
Three.
If you could cut one more for me, and explain why we do that in the container like that.
We put it in a recycled. This one happens to be a
You don't
feta
have to
cheese.
open it.
Feta cheese container, and we've washed it through the dishwasher, and we put the string
That's
in
called
here with the
sanitizing.
hole coming through, so that when you're working with meat, you're not contaminating the whole ball of string by holding it into your hands that have meat all over them. So that's why we do it that way. Is that all right?
That's good. I'm going to let Phyllis finish that last one, and I'm going to head over to the stove, and I'm going to start the pan and oil ready so that we can brown this. Got one already prepared here, so Phyllis will tie that up, and we'll take a little break so I can get the oil heated up in the pan, and we'll be back soon.
I went and retrieved my knife. This is it.
Now this
Now-
is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Look, I mean, this is a knife that I don't feel like I can hurt myself with or cut off my fingers, in which I've done some serious damage. That's why I don't use sharp knives. And
All right.
it's kind of it's serrated, and I use it for just about everything. I don't know why. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no good cook's stamp of approval on it for anybody that's a professional cook, but this is what I love. I've had it
Now,
for a bazillion
this
years.
is the same Phyllis who said it's important to use a sharp, good knife, so you don't cut yourself. You couldn't cut yourself if you tried with Phyllis's favorite knife, so just a little
But it is extra
a little
work
hypocrisy
because it's
there.
not that sharp, but it's a safe tool for me. I like it. It's got memories.
Okay, so I've heated the oil. This again, we're using the same extra virgin olive oil. We don't buy different kinds unless we need something that doesn't have that strong olive oil flavor like extra virgin does. And I've heated it up in the frying pan. It's maybe a tablespoon or so. I'm going to put the remaining garlic in here, and then we're going to brown the braciole. Stand back, Phyllis. It's coming for you.
Don't let your garlic get overly brown because it changes the taste. It doesn't have that delicate, lovely taste and aroma. Just kind of golden. You can see what's happening
Keep the
there.
pan moving.
Keep the pan moving. Yep.
And for this camera, going to put in the couple of rolled braciole here. And we're going to let them brown up. Going to let them get a nice crispy brown on it, lots of flavor. The sound's probably crackling away in the microphone. It's going to sound delicious. Wait till you taste it. You got to try it.
There we go. Oh yeah, that's looking perfect. It's sealing in some of the juices so that when we put it into sauce, it'll slowly release the flavor in the juices. This is
Whoa.
Good. So we'll leave that.
It's talking to us. No, that's all right. Put it in there. Flip it over one more time now. You can do it now. Turn it over more. And I'm going to, well, that's all right. I'm going to shut the heat off and we're going to get on to the next thing.
Perfect.
Okay, we're going to set this on the back burner and that will continue to brown up there. Braciole is typically cooked in a tomato sauce. And we're going to prepare that next. Tomato sauce. You've got lots of choices here. Can't begin to tell you how many choices. First of all, are you going to call it sauce or gravy? My Nona called it sauce. We call it sauce. You may call it gravy. That's fine. I won't argue with you, unless you want to argue, and then I can point out all the reasons why you're wrong. You pick out the tomato brand that you like. Of course, the very best, in my opinion, is when tomato season is at its peak and the tomatoes are just ripe, warm, fresh off the vine. Pick them from your own garden if you're lucky to have someone like Phyllis who has a wonderful garden, delicious tomatoes. Or you go down to some of the local merchants in town. They all have really delicious tomatoes in season. What we're going to do today is fast, it's easy, it's just a few ingredients, it's not a long cook time. Some people cook their tomato sauce for hours. It gives me agita, okay? Italians say they get agita when they eat something or they get nervous or upset, and it gives them kind of I guess you'd call it a sour stomach. That's probably the closest thing that would explain agita. We cook our tomatoes from a can or fresh, probably no more than 20 or 30 minutes, beginning to end. And why would you buy something that's already cooked from the store in a jar when you can do it in 20 or 30 minutes?
In the summertime is just the best time to get a variety of tomatoes. My personal preference, if I can get them, would be a plum tomato. A plum tomato has a lot of meat to it. The walls are thick, not a lot of seeds, and just perfect for making tomato sauce. But that doesn't mean it's the only kind of tomato to use. There's
Tomatoes
so
have
many
meat.
different kinds. Well, they're thick and they have a lot of body to them. They're not watery. So
I
that's
know what
I
you
like about
meant.
it.
I just tease her. I love her. I tease her all the time. So what kind of tomatoes? Depends on what you like. Do you like chunky tomatoes? Thick, chunky pieces of tomato in your sauce? Do you like small chunks of tomato in your sauce? Do you like no chunks? Do you like it like a puree? Camera person right now is Dolly. Dolly says, yeah, I like the puree. I don't like the puree. Well, I take that back. Sometimes I do, but it's not my first choice. I like when I'm using canned tomatoes, and don't ever be afraid to use canned tomatoes because they are guaranteed picked at the peak of perfection. There's some alliteration there. The flavor is consistent. It's always good. I get the same good, sweet flavor all the time. Not true when I try other brands. There may be others out there that are good. This one I'm sure of. And it's frequently on sale, and I'll buy it and stock up. This can, I took the manufacturer's label off, but I bought it at a local supermarket. It's San Marzano tomatoes. San Marzano is a region of Italy near Mount Vesuvius, which is in Naples, or near Naples, and the tomato crop benefits from the volcanic soil. they have the best flavor. And the tomato itself is a plum or Roma tomato, and they're small. They're not a big tomato like you might find in the supermarkets around here. They tend to be
About
small.
the size of an egg, really, right?
If you decide to buy San Marzano, Marzano tomatoes, you want to be certain that they're labeled with DOP. DOP is a designation by the Ministry of Agriculture in Italy that these are authentic. If you're going to spend the money on these, look for the DOP designation. Then you have some assurance that you're getting the real deal. The Braciole's been browned, and now the garlic's in there, the olive oil's in there. Now I'm going to add the Pastine kitchen ready tomatoes. I spent all that time taking the label off, and Phyllis spilled the beans or the tomatoes. And now we're making our sauce. It's pretty simple. I love this Pastine, the flavor. It's consistent, tastes good. Shake that up a little bit. I'll need to add salt, but I'll wait a while till it's cooked and come down a bit and evaporate it off the liquids. And you don't want to put too much salt too early because as it evaporates from the simmering process, it'll concentrate the flavor of the salt, and it could be too strong. So we will set that aside. Let that continue cooking on the back burner, because, as luck would have it, hot. We have a hot pot. As luck would have it, we have right here, that's hot too, a big pot of tomato sauce. Oh, don't block the camera. And with the Braciole inside. So that's all cooked and ready to go. We're boiling the water now. We're going to cook up some pasta to go with that. Sorry, folks. Sorry, crew. I did not make the homemade fettuccine this time. We're going to have to settle for a domestic dry shape. Phyllis, she said last time she loves different shapes. These are cute. She loves this stuff. Look at it. The manufacturer calls these fusilli something or other. I threw the box away, so I don't remember the name. These aren't cooked yet. They're still dried. And but I love the look of them, and the taste is always good. This is made in Italy. It's imported. It's made with, if you remember the first episode on pasta making, these are manufactured from the durum wheat, the hard pasta flour. And if you don't remember, go watch it. It's a good show. You'll learn a lot. The water's boiling in the pasta pot. I'm going to add the pasta to the boiling water and some salt, and takes about 8 or 9 minutes for it to be ready to eat. So bear with me while I put that in. Try not to burn myself. Always stir it, pasta, when you put it into boiling water. Otherwise, it's going to stick to the bottom of the pot. Add some salt. Now, some people say you want to put so much salt, some chefs say, so much salt that it tastes like the sea, salt, the seawater. Honestly, I think that might be a little bit too much, but I put in, I don't know, what would you say that was? A tablespoon or so? I add that after I add the pasta because I heard somebody say if you add salt to cold water before it's boiled, leave it sitting in a stainless steel pan, it'll pit the bottom of the pan. And I pay way too much for my pots and pans to do that, so I don't take a chance. All right, Phyllis, I can hear some sizzling here. Did you catch that? You want to see it again? Should I go for high? No. So, pasta looks and feels like it might be done. The only way to know for sure is to bite into it, and it's done. Going to let that drain a bit because the sauce is a bit watery. Don't know why. Ta-da! All the burners are shut off. That's good. We won't have any fires. I'm going to spoon on the sauce. The sauce is it's a thin sauce today, but the starch from the pasta, I don't rinse my pasta. Some people do. I don't rinse it because the starch helps even the watery sauce, the thin sauce, adhere to the pasta and makes it a little bit nicer. And somebody asked about olive oil. Do you put olive oil in the cooking water? And no, I don't. I never really, I've tried it. I don't see that it does anything special for me. And I think it might, I don't know the chemistry, but I think it might inhibit absorption of the salt and sauce flavors and things like that. So I choose not to oil my pasta water. And folks, I think we are just about ready to eat here. Or as they say in Italy, mangia. It's all right if I walk up here? I'm walking slow. I'm going to put it nice and close so the non-camera can see it. I'm going to tip it up. Oh, you should smell it. It's really good.
Need a serving spoon.
That's our show for today. It's Braciole. That's the star of the show. We're going to enjoy that. Pasta, imported dry pasta with a sauce that was flavored, our simple sauce that was flavored with the Braciole. And Phyllis made a salad. And we're going to enjoy it. Hope you try it and you enjoy it too. And I know the crew's going to enjoy it. They're all looking pretty excited. So until we see each other again, ciao.
Ciao.
Buon appetito.
Buon appetito.